Welcome to One Girl at a Time, a podcast for girls, by girls, with girls. I'm Hajar.
And I'm Umaymah, and we are here to spotlight on the power that girls have in this world.
For this episode's World at a Glance, we wanted to talk about Black History Month because, as you all know, it is February.
Yeah, and it is one of the important celebratory months in America. We highlight the actions and bravery of the African Americans.
Since we are a podcast that empower girls and young women, we wanted to speak about some Black women in honor of Black History Month.
Yeah, one influential woman is Daisy Bates. She was a civil rights hero and journalist who played a huge role in leading the Little Rock integration crisis of 1957, which was a crisis that occurred in 1957 after a group of nine African American students enrolled in Little Rock Central High School.
I'm sure you've all heard of May Carol Jemison at one point in your lives. She is an African American engineer, physician, and former NASA astronaut. She became the first Black woman to travel into space when she served as a mission specialist aboard the Space Shuttle Endeavour.
We want to encourage you all to maybe take some time out of your day to learn something new about Black History Month, whether it be about one of the many amazing figures, a simple fact, or just the history behind it.
And with that, we conclude our World at a Glance segment. In today's episode, we will be talking with Ezzah Rafique, the entrepreneur and co-founder of ORENDA Media, a magazine that helps bring attention to creators through a digital platform.
Welcome to One Girl at a Time podcast, Ezzah. It is such a pleasure to have you on our show.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Same here. So before we get into ORENDA Media, we want you to tell our listeners a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so I'm 17 years old. I'm a senior at South Lake Carroll High School. My name is Ezzah, and I don't know, I love photography. I love true crime. I love traveling. I miss that a lot, especially because of COVID.
Mm-hmm.
I've loved photography, been into it since I was, I think in 2015, so almost 6 years now. And I started doing it professionally about 2 years ago, but before I would take my camera to parties and dinners and when hanging out with friends just to take pictures for fun. And then recently I started my own digital media company called ORENDA Media. And so in that we do different digital projects like ORENDA Magazine. We recently are developing a podcast network and we do different digital projects. And are starting to look into the advertising aspect of digital media as well.
So, of course, you told us about your company, ORENDA Media, but what initially led you to creating it?
So originally, I had the idea kind of in the back of my mind last year, in the very beginning of last year. And when COVID hit, I really wanted to do something with the photography that I was doing. So I took my cousin and we went to a nearby park in our neighborhood and we took a couple pictures, and I kind of looked at the requirements that Vogue Italia has and kind of just looking at how to submit photos to Vogue specifically. And when I couldn't figure out a platform that would allow me to do that, or finding different magazines to gain more professional experience, I knew I always had the idea of having a digital company in the back of my head. And then with all of that going on, I kind of just took action, I guess, and created my own digital media magazine through that. And when I kind of knew that I wanted to do this magazine, I thought of different digital projects that I could possibly be doing, and started ORENDA Media specifically so I could do the different aspects of digital projects, whether that be photography or videography or podcasting, etc.
That's so cool. I like how that you didn't see a platform that accepted things like that, so you made your own. How did you come up with the name of your company?
It is very unique.
So
Yeah.
Thank you. It's actually a really funny story. I kind of just searched up cool words, um, straight into Google, and I filtered through all of that, and I wrote down a list of words that I really liked, and then I went through and kind of saw like what encompasses the idea of like how I wanted to start the media company specifically. So, um, the word ORENDA kind of stuck out to me because it means like a power within you to change your life and the world around you, the people around you. And I wanted something that could express creativity in someone else's life, regardless whether you do like an art form, or you do like entrepreneurship, or whatever you do as the passion. If that has impacted your life in a positive manner, I kind of wanted a word that would encompass that whole thing. And so the word is pretty versatile, and it kind of fit everything that I envisioned the company itself to be like.
When did you realize that starting a digital media company was something that you definitely wanted to do?
When I launched my first magazine back in August, I like a little bit before that, I think 3 weeks before that, I posted a TikTok, just like asking for photographers from anywhere in the world, like, would you be willing to put your art into this platform? You know, it'll give them more of an exposure to different people, different audiences. And so putting all that together, going through the whole process of like creating the company itself and then networking specifically, I enjoyed that whole process of it. And I was like, this is something that I'm really passionate about. It's something that I didn't feel forced to doing it. It's something that I kind of did on my own. And as I worked more on it, I kind of fell more in love with it. And I felt a lot more like myself, not something that like someone forced me into doing, especially with someone like me. Like I'm a Muslim Pakistani American. There's not a lot of people in the media industry specifically who are like that. And I kind of felt nice to kind of go against that norm of, oh, you have to be like an engineer or a doctor or something. And it didn't feel like I was forced into doing that, and it was something I like thoroughly enjoyed doing. So
Yeah, I representation is really important, and you are like making a big difference, and your company is super cool. We've actually taken a look at your website a couple of times, and I just love all the magazines you've put out, all the covers. They're just gorgeous. And I actually did see the TikTok you were mentioning, and I'm really proud of what you've done. It's really amazing, like to
thank
see
you.
one of us doing something super like out there and like, putting in the effort, putting in the work.
And being something that you always dreamed of seeing. So that's like amazing.
And
Thank you.
so
Oh, I can't take all the credit. It does go to like people who do submit to the magazine as well.
Yeah.
definitely. What are some of the ups and downs? Like I'm sure like you're a senior, so like there's school to balance and juggle as well as being the founder and working on the magazine itself or the company. So
Yeah, so I feel like the ups more outweigh the downs. But like two things that are kind of difficult is definitely like getting this whole thing to get off the road and actually like get it started. So originally it was just me. I started the idea, I reached out to people. Getting everything working was like the most difficult part, especially because at the time I like ended my junior year of high school. I was doing summer classes. And so it was a lot to try and balance just by myself. And now there's like a few more people who are on the team, so it's not like everything's on my shoulders. But definitely that was the main part that was really difficult to deal with. And then trying to get everyone who is currently on the team on the same page is because when I posted that TikTok, there were people from, across the globe who saw it. And so we have people on our photography team who are from different countries. We have some from Mexico, Australia, New Zealand, Germany. And so trying to get everyone on the same page, to try and follow like a timeline, that's kind of been a bit difficult to deal with. But something that's like really good about being like the founder, something that's helpful is being able to be in control of like the projects I put out or like what goes into the magazine. We have like this rule where we don't put like nudity or we don't put defamation, stuff like that. Something that could really be like triggering to an audience. Being able to see what goes into a project has been like really beneficial to make sure that things don't go out of control. Um, and definitely meeting new people. Like this magazine, this company, the media itself has been able to give me so many different connections to people who do so many different things, publicists, artists, photographers, you guys who do like podcasting. It's really nice to be able to like see different people who come from different backgrounds and are doing different things, all kind of like join forces, I guess, to create a project or put something out.
Definitely, I agree. We both enjoy meeting new people as
Mm-hmm.
well. Like meeting you today wouldn't have been possible without your company. So that's really like exciting and
Yeah, and I agree to what you said. Like, I kind of I bet like both of us can relate to you when you said like reaching out to people and things to seeing different people, and it is really refreshing because everyone's so motivated, and
Mhm.
everyone's just positive and just like seeing people like you and us and just reaching out, and it's just such a cool atmosphere. I would say.
we actually want
Absolutely, I totally agree with that. Yeah.
we actually wanted to ask you, what's your favorite issue of
Yeah.
your magazine?
Oh, so this one's like interesting because each issue to me has like some sort of aspect to it that I really like, really, I guess, feel passionate about. Obviously, the first one was like the first issue that I put out, but it was also the one with like the most submissions, the most people where I met so many cool artists and photographers and writers. And then the December issue that we put out, it was titled Reverie. um, or no, the December one we put out was titled About Time, and it was based off the Met Gala theme for 2020. So it was fashion through history, and it was the shoot that I personally did a bunch of shoots for that. And I met a lot of people through that. I did a lot of networking through that. And then the January one, which was titled Reverie, was like a dreamlike type of theme. So it was really cool seeing everyone's interpretation of that theme specifically. It was also the first studio shoot that I did. So I think there's every issue that I put out has something that was like the first for me or some element that I really like enjoy doing. But favorite overall would definitely be the one that we're releasing this month in February. I got to interview a lot of people, a lot of artists and musicians about their career, and I met a lot of like really cool people through doing that. And then uh, kind of like the shoot that we did, me personally, with one of my friends. We did a music video inspired shoot where we shot our own version of a music video, and then uh, we also took like pictures based off the music video. Um, so I think like the one that I'm putting out right now is definitely something that holds a lot of value to me, but each theme really just has something that's really cool about it that I thoroughly enjoy. Like I enjoyed putting it together and I enjoyed the whole process of it overall.
You said the themes are all different, yeah. And you want everyone to kind of just be in a place where they can, share all the their expertise and everything. What is like one thing that you want to kind of keep consistent? Like what message do you want your readers um to see when in each issue of the magazine?
Definitely inclusivity. That's like a huge factor in this whole media company itself. Like yes, including like race, ethnicity, religion, gender, etc., but also just making it a place for creatives, regardless of like your professional experience, to gain experience and go out of your comfort zone to try new styles with each different theme. So we try not to repeat each theme because we want to like give each creative an aspect where they can interpret something based on their own style but also try something that they possibly didn't do before. um, and then definitely making the whole place just inclusive overall. For me, the whole starting factor for this was trying to find something that would allow me starting out professionally to gain experience, gain exposure, and get published. And that whole process of doing that is the main factor of why this whole thing started. And with our podcasts, we're starting a few with like different messages behind them. So hopefully people can take something out from that. So we have one that's targeted towards like first generation Americans, one that's targeted towards people who like changed their lives, what the whole business stands for basically. We have one that's about like entrepreneurship and personal growth, and then another that's about like true crime, specifically cases that aren't put into the public media, so giving them more exposure. Trying to bring to light all of these different people from different backgrounds and making this whole environment something that they're comfortable around, but also giving them that whole platform to put their work onto.
Your message of inclusivity is something like we find really important too.
Yeah.
It's part of one of the reasons why we started this podcast, because we wanted a platform for not only Muslims and young girls, but like teens who are always like, oh, you're too young to do this, oh, like you're a teen, you don't know
Yeah.
anything. So that's why like that's really important to us as well, and it like really means a lot.
Yeah, to see someone like you and us kind of just, racist, seeing someone like you really going out there and really trying your best to, show such a strong message is really important. And I feel like, especially with our society today, it's something that needs to be like more just out there.
Agreed, yeah.
So this concludes our interview. We wanted to thank you for coming here today, interviewing, like letting us interview you, speaking with us,
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. I had a lot of fun, and it was really nice to get to talk to you guys too.
Same here, likewise. Check out Ezzah Rafique's magazine, ORENDA, at ORENDA Media on Instagram. We'll be linking all that in our description, and we'll be posting it on our social media.
So make sure to check it out. Our Instagram is at ogatpodcast. Feel free to send us a DM, feedback, and if you have anything you would like to tell us, also feel free to email us at ogatpodcast@mooddeltaalpha.org. Thank you.
Have a great day.
Bye.